I would like to thank His Excellency Mr. Mikhail Saakashvili for his statement. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the conference Her Excellency Mrs. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, President of the Philippines. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. The people of the Philippines look upon these negotiations in Copenhagen with a critical sense of urgency. The average world per capita CO2 equivalent emission of 6 tons must be brought down to 3 tons to stabilize at 450 parts per million in 2050. The Philippines is already doing better than that. Our emission is only 1.6 tons per capita, and we are further committed to deviate by 20% from our business-as-usual emissions growth path. Yet, though our country has a good carbon footprint, we are disproportionately vulnerable to the devastation of Mother Nature, accelerated by the mistreatment of the fragile environment by human beings all over the world. This vulnerability is due in large part to the fact that we are an archipelago of 7,000 islands, with the majority of our people living in low-lying areas prone to climate hazards. The UN reports that the Philippines is one of the top 12 countries at the greatest risk from climate change. In fact, we top the list of nations most in danger of facing more frequent and more intense storms as the impact of climate change intensifies. Tropical storms of historical scale have inflicted devastation and tragic loss of lives upon our country. 2 recent typhoons cost our people $4 billion, or 2.7% of our GDP. Our major food regions lost 8 to 10% of their GDP because over 600,000 hectares of farmland were destroyed, while the industrial areas lost 6 to 8%. These same typhoons affected more than 9 million people and killed 900. Over 200,000 homes were damaged or destroyed. Our nation was already struggling against the headwinds of the global economic storm when we were forced to confront these natural disasters. Thank God that we pulled together as a nation. We have begun to rebuild the affected areas of our country. We thank our international friends and development partners who assisted us in our moment of need over the past few months. We come to Copenhagen in partnership with other nations to find a way to meet the harsh impacts of climate change and avert a global climate crisis. It is time to harmonize economic development with environmental protection in a new global order where they are not mutually exclusive, but rather synonymous. It is time all countries of the world owned up to our collective responsibilities. Solving this problem will certainly take years, but we need to start the process now. We cannot afford to leave Copenhagen without a deal, and a deal based on the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities. For an equitable outcome, developed countries need to lead in reducing emissions. A robust financial mechanism must also be established to meet the needs of the costs of adaptation for developing countries and for effective development and transfer of technologies. We applaud Secretary Clinton's groundbreaking announcement that the United States is prepared to work with other countries toward a goal of jointly mobilizing 100 billion 2020 to address the climate change needs of developing countries. It is essential that this augmentation of global funds should include the replenishment of existing global grant facilities. Madam President, colleagues, humans started the problem of climate change. Humans can certainly solve it. Thank you.
I would like to thank Her Excellency Mrs. Gloria Macapagal Arroyo for her statement. It gives me great pleasure